Hello Virgo, and welcome to your in-depth monthly horoscope for July 2023 for the Sun or the Ascendant. I'm going to give you some standout details to begin with, but please stay with me. I will explore in much greater detail all the key influences particularly relevant to your sign. For me, the thing that really excites me the most for you is the arrival on the 10th of Mars. Mars is the planet of passion, desire, but also about our individual expression. So moving into your sign from the 12th house, where it had been for the previous 6 weeks, which is quite tricky, is definitely something to celebrate. Also on the 28th, Mercury, your ruler, moves into your sign too. So it is going to spend some of this month from the 11th in a more sheltered zone, but it also on the first day of the month forges an awesome link to the Sun. So some kind of relationship or friendship or networking opportunity can really be absolutely fabulous right on the first day. If you are a returning visitor, thank you so much for joining me once more. If you're new here, it's great to have you with us. This is very much a community, so please feel free to share any thoughts. I try to interact with each comment, but I'd be honoured if you'd subscribe. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. And if you'd like to get your free daily horoscope fired to your device each morning, please see the link beneath this video. If you would like to ascend above this zodiac broadcast, what you can do by grappling with more serious astrology is provide so much knowledge and understanding of life's patterns that can guide you in your future moves. If you give me 3 pieces of your personal birth data of time, date and place of birth, I can produce for you your life roadmap report. This will give you intimate understandings of the opportunities you have, but also some of the more challenging patterns that may have repeated themselves. And so a better knowledge of these can help to guide you forwards more successfully. And in my 30% off package, you can also get your 12-month personal forecast, totally unique to you, both these charts, and will give you searing insights. Please see the link below for more. However, if you don't know your time of birth, my solar package based on the Sun can still give you a considerable extra understanding that goes beyond this zodiac broadcast. So Virgo, as you make your way into July, so the Sun and Mercury, your ruler, are in the part of your situation that's very much to do with the social milieu, and an opportunity to connect really could present itself in a very splendid way. It's just that Venus, the planet of relating, and also the position of Mars at this stage are in your 12th house. So you may just have to give yourself a little bit of a push if you have been feeling a little bit more cautious around your social interaction, because both Venus and Mars in the 12th house can make us very philosophical, but also very sentimental, but in some ways a little bit more removed from others. However, the Sun in the sign of Cancer, which is very enabling for earth signs. Remember, earth is the base of the river, water is in the river, so you conduct water very well. And the position of the Sun in the first 5 days of this month forges a brilliant link to Jupiter in the part of your situation to do with expansion, growth, travel, higher education. So there could be an opportunity to head off on some kind of journey or get together with people that you really can relate to. But I feel it needs to be people that you feel very comfortable with at an emotional level, not just at a social level. And that's because of Venus and Mars being in that tender part of your situation. Also, on the 3rd, we do have the full moon. And this full moon occurs in a lovely part of your situation, house 5, which can be very affectionate, very friendly and warm. But in technical astrology, this part of the moon's journey is where it's at its weakest in the sign of Capricorn. So just be aware that you may have some choices to make over the following couple of weeks, particularly around managing your time effectively. It's possible that quite a few people will want a piece of you at this phase of the month, and you may have to choose who you're going to actually decline. But I feel that Mars moving into your sign on the 10th is going to give you a big shot of extra certainty and assertiveness. And it's also going to help you if you're wanting to get a little bit more active or fitter to step up your routines. However, your ruler on the 11th, Mercury, does replace Mars in your 12th house. Mercury in the 12th house is a time when we want to think about things very deeply. It can see us reminiscing or discussing things from our past, or even of a more psychological nature. But from the 12th through to the 20th, the Sun is back into a sparkling alliance, this time with Uranus. But like Jupiter, Uranus is pushing you to be more experimental. And there may be one particular friend that does have an ability to get you out of your comfort zone, and that can create a real sense of excitement. However, from the 17th to the 23rd, but exactly on the 22nd, the Sun goes into an exact opposition with Pluto. If you're in a romantic relationship and there tends to be politics or a little bit of an arm wrestle about who gets their way, if it's that kind of vibe, this is going to be a potentially tricky part of the year for you. But also, because in week 3 of this month, Mars, newly asserting itself in your sign, is going to go opposite the more restrictive energies of Saturn in your 7th house of relating. So around any kind of relationship situation, I feel that on one hand, the Sun and Pluto can give you a lot more power, but in some ways Saturn can then take that away, or your energy can just slump if there are politics around any kind of interaction. But what the Sun and Pluto can do is give people great desire. So if there is someone that you're drawn to, despite any practical obstacles, distance, availability, and so forth, I think this can give you a lot of determination to see something through. But also on the 17th, the true North Node inverses back into the sign of Aries for the first time in 17 years. Think back to what you did 18 and a half years ago through to 17 years ago, and you'll get an idea of how the North Node is going to work out for you this time around. Essentially, it's your 8th house of very deep transformations, and the node's an instinctive thing. It pulls us towards where we should be heading in our lives. Now, of course, this will be different from your natal North Node, which is completely unique to your personal birth chart. But in terms of being a Virgo, this is definitely a time of potential transformations. Now, we also have a new moon, which occurs on the 17th, and this is embracing the energy of both Pluto in a more strident way, but in a more constructive way, Neptune. So I think Neptune, also in your 7th house along with Saturn, is asking you to try to approach any relationship matter with a more spiritual dimension as well as a more practical one, which is what Saturn may be focusing your mind on in its obstacle with Mars. So even if something is a bit difficult, with patience and tact, but also trying to understand why someone behaves like they do, you could start to unpick the answer to it. However, if a relationship really isn't working, the Sun's move on the 23rd into Leo and Venus going into a retrograde, which is going to last through to the September the 4th, suggests that it could really be a time of an ending if a relationship has truly run its course. But I would really check things out. But I feel politics around a relationship could show themselves quite strongly in week 3 of this month. But redeeming the situation to some degree is on the 28th, when Mercury moves into your sign. It brings you more into the moment. And even if there have been some anxieties or concerns or greater understanding of the politics that you're dealing with, Mercury moving into Virgo will give you the clarity and the precision you need to come into the moment and try to find a way forwards. So this month begins in a potentially sociable way, but right through the back of it is a need to be in touch with the more psychological dimension of your situation and the way that we interact, all of us. We encounter people that we find quite challenging, but also those are the people that we can be drawn to in some ways. And that may be part of your experience this month. But with so much 12th house energy, it is very important to understand your deeper motivations and why and who you're drawn to, or in some ways you're wanting to separate from, because it could be some very deep issues are going to become much clearer this month. It's been a pleasure being with you. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care. Please like, comment or subscribe.